Did you know looking this man in the eyes was punishable by death? His name was Ismail Sharif, and he was the king of Morocco in the 18th century. He ruled like a god over his people, and he was weird, very weird. I mean, despite being half black himself, he decided to enslave every single black person in his empire, including the ones that were free. He also built one of the largest prisons for European Christians, where he shackled them to walls, forcing them to sleep while standing. At least he wasn't racist, as he hated everyone equally. But the one thing he hated the most was people looking at him, because apparently no one was worthy. He would have people put to death for merely glancing at him. You would also get killed if you intentionally or accidentally looked at his women, a whopping 500 of them in his harem. To avoid any accusations, people had to lie on the ground facing down when they entered his court. The man officially beat Genghis Khan to the most number of children produced. He proudly holds a Guinness World Record for fathering the most children in history, a staggering 888 of them. The Muslim general who never lost a single battle. Khalid ibn al-Walid was the definition of a one-man army, a genius tactician that was also the best warrior on the battlefield. He was undefeated in over 50 battles, and his greatest weapon was the art of psychological warfare. Before engaging in war, he fearlessly challenged opposing commanders to duels, often securing victories or eliciting humiliating refusals, both of which crushed enemy spirits. To further dismantle their morale, he strategically divided his army into groups arriving at different times, creating the illusion of boundless reinforcements. But above all, he infused his soldiers with a profound sense of purpose. For Khalid's men, martyrdom was an unparalleled honor. In one instance, when his enemies refused to surrender, Khalid is quoted to have said, "If you refuse, then there can only be war between us, and you will face men who love death as much as you love life." Horrific dropping of 2 nuclear bombs. What did it look like? In the early morning hours of August 6, 1945, an American bomber took flight from the secluded island of Tinian and headed towards his first fateful target, the bustling city of Hiroshima. Upon reaching the city, the pilot released the heinous atomic bomb, a weapon that would alter the course of history forever. The bomb detonated with an unimaginable cataclysmic release of energy. In a hauntingly horrific scene, the very fabric of flesh dissolved like melting butter as 70,000 people were instantly erased from existence. Buildings collapsed like fragile sandcastles, and the city burnt like hellfire. Believe it or not, the Japanese still did not surrender, leading to a second tragic event. 3 days later, the Americans dropped another atomic bomb, this time on the city of Nagasaki. Another 40,000 people were wiped in an instant, leaving Japan with just one single option: defeat. 3 crazy kids who got too much power at too young of an age. 16-year-old King Christian of Denmark knew no greater love than his own hand. According to his advisors, the boy spent most of his days beating meat instead of ruling the kingdom. His chief physician wrote a whole book called Masturbatic Insanity. 14-year-old Emperor Elagabalus had the most bizarre ways of having fun. He once let lions and leopards free during a grand feast, and if that wasn't enough, he let loose snakes into a huge crowd during a gladiator contest. He enjoyed playing with people's lives, but to no surprise, the people of Rome took his at the age of 18. You won't believe it, but the most childish was 34-year-old Peter III of Russia. The man was addicted to dolls. Yes, dolls. He once held a full military parade for his doll after a rat tore its head off. He then held a formal court-martial for the rat and punished it to death.